Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing probably the most interesting deck I have seen in 1,000 years, Angelic Prototype Discovery. This deck, I had to play it like 10 times just to figure out why the cards are in here and what they do and how good this deck is unto itself. If you are interested in something janky, something aggro, and something new, this deck is for you. Stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, a part-time intimacy consultant to the stars, available for your birthday parties or bar mitzvahs. Dr. Yukon Suckett. Yes, thank you. Filmed for a live studio audience. Thank you so much. Yukon Suckett. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you once again from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, hosted by paladisiac, called Angelic Prototype Discovery. Now, I've decided I don't want to start going through the decks and everything like I used to, but I got to tell you a little bit about this deck here. It's all about discovery, and so therefore you're trying to get out your creatures, and you want to make sure that when you discover, that you're going to discover these two cards and none of the others. So that's why everything else looks so expensive. But because they're all prototypes and adventures, they technically are able to be played for much less than what they are showing here. So that's the deal. That's exactly why all these cards are in here. It's probably the most interesting deck I've ever seen, or at least seen in such a long time. But it is crazy town. So anyways, I'll talk about it a lot more after the games are over. Stay tuned for that. But before we get to the games, let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Dear Black King Toxrill, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentation of the women. All right, we're playing against Bob. And what do we got going on here? Let's keep... We got three guys. Let's go for the black to start off with. That way we can, in 2 more turns, we could potentially Virtue of Persist. Oh, what's this guy going to get rid out of my hand? Virtue of Persistence, the exact thing I was looking for. Alright, nothing going on there. I would playing against mono black discard, most likely. Yeah, he's just going after my hand. I mean, I can play something next turn. There we go, I got a guy out. He'll deal with 1 point of damage. Alright, what is it? Virtual Loyalty? Alright, cool. Let's geologically appraise. I know this means that our pal, you are going to get right there. And then eventually we're going to keep digging. There it is. You're going to go into this guy. Alright, smacked in for 7. Smack, smack. We got 2 Angelfires. Do we have lethal? These things pump by what? 2, so we got additional 4 going on. Well, that one's exiled out. Alright, we got the trample all in. Alright, so that is 9. And a lot of life for us. It would suck if this turned tragically away from us, but we have nothing in our hands, and that is not cool. There's a kill. Good, we got what we needed. So that's going to lead us to another Angelfire Ignition. And we win! Victory! Alright, we are playing against Alpha 747. 1, 2, 3. Got a creature at 3. Alright. Nope. Boy, Painland, Painland, Painland. Let's see. Let's go for black and red, and we'll call it. We'll jump out with the dude and block. As long as he doesn't put a creature out. He has got a creature out. Well, let's pretend we could do something scary, but it's not going to be scary. Alright, so 3. What do we got? Combat Thresher. He's just a 1/1. It's not going to do much good against those guys. Alright, I doubt he's going to block. There'll be no upside to it. But we can block the Bloated Contaminator with the Knigget. Actually, he may not want to attack at all. He may be scared. Nope, he's going to go for it. Alright, that's Geological Appraiser. We'll pay the damage. Take the blood price for it. Alright, this is all going to end up eventually at Angelfire Ignition. Look at all that. There we go. Where there's a haste. Alright, down to 10, and we're back up to 21. So the question is, what do we do next turn? Not going to lose our guy. As long as he's not getting life, I don't really care. Another one. And another one. Let's go, combo! And another one. There we go. Alright, no math! He can get in front. I can't do enough to kill him. I'm up to 27. I don't think he's got removal. If he has ossification, we're in sorry shape. He does not have any non-basic lands, though. And we win! Boom, boom! Goes the room. Alright, we are going to be playing against Allshookup. Or is it Allshookup? Or is it Allshookup? Keep? No. Painlands. Alright, well we can't... I'll just do this, since we can't do anything on turn 1 anyway. We can eat this guy's fava beans in just a second. Or we kill that guy. He's going to dislike the Goring Warpig. That's not his name. Rampaging Raptor's not cool, but he's got a ways to go. Alright, cool. We get this out. And the Warplow. Send somebody in, send somebody to their death. Geological Appraiser will start. This guy will start to go nuts. Daring Discovery is cool, but he's not playing with anybody that's going to block. He's got to play with the guys in his hand. He's about to lose the dinosaur. No, one's fine. Cool. Let's go for that. Oh, I didn't put enough red. Oh, man, that sucked. That's a whole turn lost. All right, War Pig, you're my friend. You're holding it down. You're the entire defense. All right, we'll kill it. Down to 6. Down to 5. Yeah, I don't think we can pull this thing off. We can't do 20 points in this turn. Okay, well, cool. We'll go in. We'll get some life. That's nice. And we got a nice blocker there. Vigilance did quite a lot for us. Double strike? Nope, that's not a part of it. That's what we need, though. He's scared. Can he do it 2? I don't think so. We'll just kill the 1 for 1. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's cool. We'll just put another Angel Fall on this guy. 2 red's not going to do that for you, man. That's 8 life I'm getting back. All right, cool. Let's go for Daring Discovery. 1, 2, 3. No blockers there. All right, super combo. Activate. Form of -4. Victory. All right, we're playing against Goofy. 3 mana, no red. I'm going to mulligan this one. That is not a good hand. Still none. It's exactly what we got last time. I gotta get rid of 2 cards here, huh? Jesus. All right, Pain Land. I'm gonna put down this one. Hopefully he doesn't get killed. He's just a 1/1, man. I don't know what you'd be all worried about. Playing at least 4 colors right now. Alright, he's just chilling out. Alright, Super Combo Force engaged. He just clears the board. And we put out... Do I care? Yeah, let's do this guy. What's he going to cost me? Let's cancel him. Let's see. He's a 7. That's too long, too far away. You know, wipe the board again for one guy. All right, it's down to 10. We're not going to have enough to do both Virtual Loyalty and the Knight. This is enough to kill him, though, if you can't handle it. It's 10, man. It says destroy. I don't need to do it. It's indestructible. It's indestructible. Let's just showboat a little bit. There we go. Suck it, suckerfish. Trying to counter me. Trying to destroy my guy with an uncountable guy. Suck it. Alright, I'm playing against Kespo. All right, we got all the colors, which is good. Let's start off with this one. All right, I'll go with that. Play the Knigget on his turn. What we got? A little Rakdos action. Alright, don't be killing. Just let it happen, man. Jerk. Alright, we're going to play a little tit for tat. There's my tit. You get the tat. We need the red mana. Red mana. Yeah, close enough. That is frustrating. Hopefully it runs out of those kinds of cards. All right, we go again. There's the end goal right there. Go get him. There we are. I like to see that. Now, don't have anything to kill my creature with. All right, you have no mana. You got 1 mana. All right, he's down to 5. He's trying to find something to kill my guy with. I got lots of other guys. It's just going to take me a couple turns to set up. Yeah, I got trample, man. And we win! Victory! Alright, here we are with Angelic Prototype. What's the rest of this thing say here? Discovery. Yeah, it was an incredibly weird deck. Super cool. Yeah, alright, let's talk about it. I mean, it didn't win. How is it? It either won very handily or it completely got his pants pulled down and his face shoved in the mud. That was the way it went. The big problem with this deck is that if you did not have any creatures, then you were screwed. And it was easy to kind of not have creatures. There's tons of creatures. But the problem is that paying for them was sometimes a problem. Yeah, it was just big, weird deck. Okay, if I didn't talk about this before, the big thing about this deck is that it was all about Discover, and Discover was all about getting either Etali's Favor or Angelfire Ignition. And so you couldn't have anything that in your deck that was 3 or less. Yeah, in fact, it needed to be like 5 or more is what they needed to play. And you can see all of these are technically 6 or more. So none of these could show up. This one's 5, this one's 5, so none of these could be discovered, which means that all you could potentially get would be a human artificer. And where could you get 4 from? From Daring Discovery. So that's the only one where you get something, where you get this guy. Everything else, either Etali's Favor or this guy himself, was just pulling Angelfire or another's Etali's Favor. So yeah, it was a total combo fest right there. And these guys needed to stay out of the way. But they also needed to be played early, which is why they all have essentially either prototype or adventure costs. And that's what the key was to the entire deck. So it was incredibly interesting. All right, so let's see. Who was the MVP, the most valuable player? I'm going to say it was Geological Appraiser. I mean, this guy, I've seen him played a bunch before. I never understood why anybody cared for him. He seems stupid. In a deck as tailored as this one is, he was the man. And the reason why is because when he came out, he was discovering, and he was either going to get Angelic Ignition or he was going to get Etali's Favor. Angelfire Ignition or Etali's Favor. And eventually, Etali's Favor was going to land on Angelfire Ignition. So he's just going to get pumped, and then super pumped, and then everything. And so this guy was definitely going to have haste. So he's coming out as a 3-2. He's going to end up with at least a 5-4. And with haste and indestructible and lifelink and trample and vigilance. So he was going to be incredible. This guy was the MVP of this deck. And he was going to town. Now, the other cool thing about this deck is that it was Virtue Persistence. If it got up to the late game, you got 7 mana, you could put out Virtue Persistence and start pulling your dudes from the graveyards at full maximum power. And that was also incredible. What I liked about it was the fact that you had a late game strategy. Because this thing wanted to go like kind of early, but mostly be a mid-game type of deck where you're kind of like laying down the things for the first 2 or 3 rounds. And turn 4, usually you went nuts. But then if anybody kind of like stopped you, that's like, oh, now what I'm going to do? But if you get to the late game to 7, Virtual Persistence or maybe even your Virtual Loyalty was really going to make things really difficult for them to deal with. Once you start bringing your guys back every turn, that was really hard for them to deal with. I ended up adding the Skitter Beam Battalion in just because I had so many problems with keeping guys on the board. Problem is, I never played a game where Skitter Beam ever came out. So, we'll see. Maybe it was just good. I don't know. He's 5. He's expensive, even at the cheap end. But the idea that I knew we got up to 5, that was not a problem. So if I could put out a card that could put out 2 other guys at the same time, that was definitely the value I think this deck needed. What did I really hate? I really hated the Pain lands. I'm not sure they're necessary. This deck doesn't want to do a lot at 1 or 2. I mean, there's nothing in there. I mean, I guess you got Goring Warplow and Combat. See, that's the only thing that's 2. What else is 2? Virtual Loyalty and Virtual Persistence. You do nothing on turn 1. Absolutely nothing. I think the Pain lands are just nothing but trouble, and potentially they might be worth getting rid of. If we played this deck and wanted to tune it up, that would really be it. All right, so there you go. MVP is Geological Appraiser. What an interesting, stupid name for an MVP card. Congratulations. All right, was this deck competitive? I ended up with this deck having, let's see if I can figure this one out, 67%. So, yeah, I think it's competitive. I think it's Platinum Mythic level. It's not going to win like the vast majority of the time. That's every 2 out of 3 times you play it, you're going to win it. I think that sounds pretty reasonable, and I think that does make this into a competitive deck. Number 2, was this deck fun? Yes, it was fun. Why was it fun? Because of the super pump on your dudes, the fact that there was combos that were triggering off. So yeah, if you were a big-time combo boy, you would love this deck. And if you're an aggro player, it has things for you as well. Control people, that was, I think, where the deck really fell apart, was in control. The only control you actually had was Virtue of Persistence and theoretically Daring Discovery, even though it was 5 to play, which made it super expensive. But even then, it all it did was make it so 3 target creatures can't block. So that's not very much control, but still pretty kick-ass. Yeah, it was a fun deck. But this is where this deck really came in. Was it interesting? Man, I have not played such an interesting deck in a long time. Everything about this deck was interesting. The discover mechanic, I couldn't figure out for the longest time why we were playing prototypes. So then I removed a bunch of them, put in some some token generating things, but then Discover kept grabbing those instead. So therefore our combo for Angelfire Ignition was failing constantly. And I realized that's what the deal is that they needed to be cheap, but they needed to be expensive at the same time. So yeah, this deck was interesting just because there are so many weird dynamics between the cards that are being played. Not necessarily in this, as in like how they go against each other in a positive way, but it's how they go against each other in a negative way. How they clear the space so that nothing is going after but the cards that you want. Plus, with Virtue Persistence, Prototype is really good. You get to bring them back at full power without paying for them. So, other than that, I mean, they're just cards. All right, so let's count this thing up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was it fun? Yes. Was it interesting? Super triple check, thumbs up? Yes. All right, so even though it's not as competitive as I'd hope, that interesting just overwhelms it. This is an A+ deck, and as federal law requires me to say, this deck is so choice. I would highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, screw you guys, I'm going home. Bye.